Morning, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. Got a busy day today, lots of planting and a bit of disassembly, and yeah, we're going to be making some poly tunnel doors as well. So yeah, lots to do. It's really quite chilly in the wind today, but you know, it's still 5 or 6 degrees or something like that, so the plants are loving it. Anyway, I'll just give you a quick intro to what I'm up to and then follow along. So as you can see, we have made some progress with the polytunnel build. We got the foundations in on the first day and we've put the frame up, and we've not done a perfect job of it, but it's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with the way it's gone, but I'll do a separate video on that anyway. So I've just opened up all the beds. As you can see, everything's doing pretty well. I'm quite pleased. I'm not going to do a kind of detailed tour of the beds today. I'm just going to give you a quick insight into how things are going, and hopefully you can see everything's going pretty nicely, and I'm really pleased. Particularly the spinach beds are looking really great. More spinach beds here, and the new salad beds are coming on nicely. If I can get into this one, I'll show you. Well, the new salad beds. Really pleased with the way this is going. Some more new salad beds in here. Everything's growing splendidly. Chard's coming on nicely. Pak choy's looking really good. Radishes are really starting to thicken up now. Really nice. Salad beds were looking really fantastic. We're cropping this quite heavily now. Spring onions are growing on really well. Looking forward to those. We don't have any spring onions at the moment. We've got pretty much every other type of veg we need, but spring onions not quite there yet. So pretty pleased. And main focus of the morning is going to be planting some of those peas in the little windbreaked area there. Not all of them, just 5 or 6 really early ones, and then I'll sort of succession sow more every week or so. I'm going to put some of that baby leaf chard in, put that spinach in, put those onions in, put those brassicas in, and those brassicas there, and those brassicas down there, under fleece or some other type of protection. Pop those lettuces in, and that is pretty much it for the planting. But yeah, so anyway, that's the main focus of the day. So come back soon. Oh, got to do some disassembly here, because these are some of the beds I'm planting in, and I can't get to them at the moment because of all this stuff that needs to be taken to pieces and stored away. You know, if there's one job I really dislike on the allotment, it's disassembling things, especially things with staples in them. And God, were there a lot of staples in that. Oh, look at all those blooming things. But I got a nice collection of wood now, all ready to reuse, and I got a bed that's clear and ready for planting. So I think the onions are going in this one, and the brassicas are probably going in this one. And what else have I got? Spinach. Well, spinach is probably going in one of these beds over here. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the job I enjoy, planting. So it's quite nice to compare and contrast the spinach. So this is spinach that was grown outside with no cover. This is spinach that was grown under fleece, and it's not in bad condition. And this is basically the same spinach that was grown under a tunnel, and very nice. Obviously I'll be taking this spinach out of these tunnels soon, because more valuable crops will be going in their place, and by that time this spinach that will now all be under fleece in here will be taking its place. So I shall get on with that. Now, it's very rare that I'll show a planting video, but this is the way I do it. So basically just use my finger and I just make a little hole, and there we go. No sticks or anything for me, just using my finger like that, and then I'll just pop the plugs straight in. So these plugs are a little bit younger than I would normally plant, but I need the space, so they're going in as is, and they just pop into these little holes that I made with my finger, and they go in lovely. And so it's a very quick and easy job, and I'll come back when it's done. So there we go, that's the spinach planted, and these were planted 3 to a plug, and they're planted very closely in this bed, and that's because this bed is going to mainly be taken for baby spinach, for salad leaves, whereas this bed will be mature leaves. And this variety on this side is Medania, and that one is Bloomsdale, I think. I can't really see it from here. I just think some people say to me, why do you have these centre boards? Well, obviously they help with stability of the bed, but they're just fantastic for leaning on. So I lean on them, I stand on them, and I spend a lot of time standing on them because it lets me get right to the back of the beds when I've got the covers on, and easily get access for weeding and harvesting and all of that sort of thing. So I actually really like them, even though occasionally they get in the way of planting. I could have got another row of spinach down the centre there, but to be honest, we grow so much, it doesn't really matter to lose a little space in order to gain loads of convenience. So these probably don't need a water, but I will give them a little bit, because surprisingly this soil, even though it's not under any cover, is actually really dry. We haven't had much rain, and so I will just give it a little bit of a watering, and then I'll pop the fleece on top. And there we go, it's all fleeced up, and of course I don't need to actually peg the fleece down, which is a nice convenience of using this netted frame. And in fact, it's probably the only reason to use the netted frame, apart from the fact that the netted frame happens to be over this bed at the moment. So that's where the spinach is going. Anyway, on to the next job. So that's these big beds planted. Now most of this is brassicas for spring leaves, really, apart from the sprouts. So there's 5 sprouts in there, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cabbages in that bed, and then it's interplanted with these. I think these are an oriental cabbage. Unfortunately, I used the wrong marker pen, and so it washed off what they were, and I planted them quite a while ago and just left them and forgot about them, but they've grown on quite nicely, surprisingly. So I thought, well, rather than chuck them out, I'll interplant them in these beds and see what happens. But I'm pretty sure they're an oriental cabbage, I'm just not sure which one. If anybody can recognise them from the leaves, that would be great. And then some kale here. This is Nero, I think. And then what have we got down here? More of these little oriental ones, and then that, I think, then the rest of these are all cabbages. These are red cabbages, and the remainder of these are Savoy cabbages, 3 of those I think. So quite a nice selection of cabbages in here, so looking forward to that. And as I say, this is not our main brassica planting. All of that's still at home and it probably won't go in until next month, but these are all the earlies. And then in here we've got these onions, and unfortunately these onions were a bit too early for planting. Some of the plugs broke up as they were being extracted, and so I still planted them just to see what happens, but I was effectively potting on into the soil with some of these seedlings, which is a bit disappointing, but I just needed the space, and these are only the earlies, so I'll be putting some in a bit later on anyway, so I'm not too worried if they don't take. And I've also just put some chard in here. This is multi-sown for baby leaf. The main chard crop will go in later, but hopefully that will give us some baby leaf a bit earlier. And these all need covering up now, so I shall get on with that. So now we're on to the peas. All of these beds are fleeced up for a month or so, and peas are going in here, hopefully well protected. And I'm not going to plant them all, I'm going to just plant about maybe 10 plants, something like that. It's just the first successional sowing, and I'm planting alderman. Okay, I'm going to get on with that then. It's pretty late now. We've finished all the planting, but most of the time we've been making doors and door frames for the polytunnel, and I'll show you that in another video. So I'll just close with a quick overview of the site. It's going to be a cold night tonight, so I've closed everything up, and you can see, just pop the door frame in. One more door frame to go. Okay, anyway, see you soon.